When I was a kid, summers were all about going to work with my mom. She was the high school special education teacher in a very small town in Texas. And every day in the summer, I was right there with her in the classroom. Now, most days were filled with the usual hustle and bustle of teaching, but there was one summer that really stands out in my memory. It was a day when she took her class on a field trip to McDonald's. And the mission was simple. It was to get some ice cream. But let me tell you, it turned out to be anything but simple. Among the students was a young man that had a pretty severe disability, and he had never experienced the joy of eating an ice cream cone. So you can imagine his excitement when he finally got his hands on one. But instead of taking a bite, he went all in, like literally. He shoved the entire cone directly into his face. Ice cream, the cone, everything. And in an instant, there was chaos. There was an ice cream everywhere, smeared across his face, was dripping down his chin, splattered all over the table, you name it. It was now covered in vanilla ice cream. It was absolute chaos as he screams in surprise because of the freezing cold ice cream on his face. And everyone around was in a bit of shock. They weren't quite sure whether we should laugh or we should leap into action to help this young man to clean up the mess. But my mom, no, she saw it differently. What seemed like a messy mishap, it became a pivotal moment. My mom, the ever problem solver, she used that day as a starting point. And so each week, the class returned to McDonald's and they gradually improved. They perfected their ability to place orders and to count their money out accurately. And eventually, that young man who had never had an ice cream cone could eat it without a single spill. My mom didn't see a mess. She saw an opportunity for growth. And as an adult, as I reflect on that summer, I realized that my parents, they taught me a powerful lesson. No obstacle is too big if you approach it with dedication and persistence. They constantly encouraged me to face challenges, especially in areas where I struggled, so that I could build resilience. And by taking on challenges one step at a time and finding the right support along the way, I've learned that incredible things can be achieved. This lesson, it stayed with me throughout my entire life. It gave me the confidence to start and to lead a software company, Text and Church, even without a background in development. I learned to embrace uncertainty, to trust my ability to figure things out, and then to draw strength from our past experiences where persistence paid off. And as church leaders, you face these same moments of challenges. Maybe your youth ministry attendance is declining and it just feels like a setback. But just like my mom and her students, this is your chance to reassess, to adapt, and eventually grow. So reach out to the youth, connect with their parents, gather feedback, and make small, meaningful changes. What feels like a setback might just be that catalyst that you need for new growth. Or perhaps you've organized a big community event and fewer people showed up than you had hoped. It's easy to feel discouraged. We've all been there. But remember that ice cream cone. Take it as a learning experience. Debrief with your team. Figure out what can be improved. Where did the plan go wrong? And then plan the next event with all of those lessons in mind. Persistence. That's what will lead you to stronger connections with your community over time. Sometimes the challenge isn't attendance or events, but maybe it's just struggling team member. Maybe you're mentoring a young volunteer who's passionate but struggling to lead. They keep falling short and are considering even quitting. This just might be your opportunity to turn that perceived failure into growth. Set smaller, achievable goals with them. Celebrate their wins, big or small, and then provide that consistent support. Just like my mom with her students, you're gonna see growth, and that success is going to inspire them to keep going. Perseverance isn't about just getting by. It's about continuously adapting and growing, even when things don't go as planned, because let's be honest, they often don't. Those challenges that you face, whether it's declining attendance, events that didn't meet your expectations, or it's that struggling team member, those are opportunities to persist, to turn them into moments of growth. So I want you to believe in yourself, believe in your team, and know that with dedication and resilience, you can achieve those incredible things. If you found this helpful, I have more leadership tips to support your ministry. Check out the playlist on your screen, and let's continue this journey together.